Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion of the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you can find the description of the day's astrology as I've laid it out here. Here, I'm going to discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, in the context of today's astrology, may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Four of Swords. And it's here because it corresponds in astrology to the last 10 days or the third decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Libra. Libra is an air sign, and swords in tarot are air element symbolism. And air element symbolism has to do with the rationale, the intellect, the thoughts we have, the communications we make, the plans that we make. And, you know, often it comes with a reminder, especially in tarot, that the plans we make and the words we use and the thoughts we think can be used either to help or to do harm. So we come to the Four of Swords here. And, you know, put in the context, we just had the Three of Swords, which is sort of a broken heart vibe, of a broken heart kind of card. And so it would be normal after the Three of Swords to want to sort of retreat. And that's what this is. It's a time to sort of retreat into our safe place, to meditate, to heal, to rest. We want to replenish our connection to ourselves and to spirit, to understand what's better, you know, going on better in our heart than was going on before, right? And it's a good time also to just give some thought to what it is that we can and can't do, right? Recognize our limitations, and also in so doing, remember what we are empowered to do as well. And another thing that comes up for me with the Four of Swords is sort of awaiting news and information, whether it's about a plan that we have made that is unfolding, or whether it is about, you know, just some news that we've been waiting to hear. Perhaps we have put a job application in, or an application for housing, a home in, and we're waiting to hear back about that. That comes through pretty strongly for me on the Four of Swords there. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards because I forgot to do so. And thank you all for being here. And just to remind you to go ahead and click that subscribe button if you have been tuning in but you're not subscribed yet. I would love to have you on board with me. And we got the Ace of Wands. Friends. I don't know what to tell you. The Ace of Wands is about spark, initiative, drive, determination, and the joy we get from pursuing what it is that we love, pursuing what it is that really turns us on, all right? Feeling that motivation to move forward, to make conquest, to sort of win the game, right? With the wands, wand energy is very competitive, and it's also cooperative. It's just about a matter of making progress for me and mine, okay? So when you get the Ace of Wands, it's kind of like a big thumbs up. It says, oh, hey, do you have a good idea? Do you have an inspiration? Is there something you feel driven to do? Or is there something that you feel determined to complete? And this is a good time to get it started. This is a good time to say, heck yes, that's what I'm doing right now. And taken together with what's going on the page today, I will say that the moon starts out in Leo today, and it's in opposition to Saturn. So moon in Leo is a time when we just sort of put ourselves at the center of, you know, the action in our life, and we sort of shine, show off who we are, give of ourselves in a way that causes people to notice us. Seeking appreciation, and also seeking to give appreciation where it's due to the people around us. So that's very much the mode of the moon, at least this morning. And in opposition to Saturn here, you know, this can be kind of a low mood, even if we are just the shining sun in our lives. Even then we can still get a little depressed, or get a little low, or feel uncertain. And that's what that opposition is about. But notice that this opposition is at the center of this grand trine here between Sun, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. Mars is another fiery element planet there, and it's in Gemini, so it's particularly fired up about what we're trying to do right now, even though we find that sometimes we have to think twice or we have to act twice to actually, complete the goal. That's fine, because we're in this really trine, this really blessed aspect with Saturn that says the work we do, the efforts we make are going to go well, and they're going to contribute to our sense of security. And, Venus and the Sun conjunct here say, we can call toward us the things that we need and desire the most at this time, and what we cannot call in, we can pursue, and we're going to be able to get whatever it is that we seek. And then the moon here is sextile to the Sun and Venus, and sextile to Mars. So we have a lot of help here to deal with this opposition, this low, perhaps depressed feeling that can come on in the morning. The Sun in the sextile with Venus, and the moon in sextile with the Venus and Sun conjunction just says, that we're really feeling ourselves. We're really feeling that attractiveness that we have. We're really feeling our power to pull in what it is that we have. And then moon in sextile to Mars there says we're also feeling that sense of initiative and that sense of power and drive to be able to pursue whatever it is that we desire. So, perhaps a low mood, but also a lot of good opportunities on the page for us today. Also, Mercury is currently in opposition to Chiron in Aries, which is fiery. And Mercury in opposition to Chiron is sort of like maybe feeling some hesitation or some defensiveness around the things that we know have healed. All right, those especially old social wounds we know have healed, but not necessarily wanting to get rid of the defensive patterns, right? We're thinking about it. We're giving it some thought. We're not really sure how we feel about it yet. And that's okay, because resolution will be found eventually. And then taken together with the Four of Swords once more, rest is often where we find inspiration. This is kind of about getting out of our heads and back into our bodies, right? Swords, air element symbolism is very intellectual. It's very thoughtful. It's very critical and sort of cogitating. What do I want to say? Strategizing. And so, it's a good thing sometimes to back off from just the constant mental work we do, especially around the problems that we have or the things that we're really working on to get done. It's a good thing to back up and sort of clear the mind, get back into the body where we can feel this initiative, this impulse, this drive, the motivation to move forward. Okay, often that is not necessarily up in our heads. Often that is more in our gut. It's a fire that comes from our gut that makes us want to move forward. And with that inspiration, we can then get back to planning, right? But especially if you've planned yourself into a place where you don't really feel so inspired anymore, right? You've planned yourself into a place where you don't feel driven, or you're thinking to yourself, there have been times when I've thought to myself like, oh, I was really inspired to do this thing, but the way the plan has unfolded, it's not really anything like what I looked like, and it's not really giving me what I was inspired to try to get out of the situation, right? So that's a time when we want to sort of reassess our approach, reassess what our plans are, and really try to get back to that place where we feel that intuitive spark, that inspiration, that desire to get moving on something, so that we, when we get back to that point of being inspired, feeling that fire in our gut, then we can reassess our plans and say, oh, this is why that's not working, because this part of the plan was never part of my inspiration, was never part of my plan, and I find it, sort of antithetical to what I'm trying to do, or, I just find it really, really hard to approach doing that because it was never intended to be part of my plan. So, great time to retreat, get back out of our heads, get into our body, feel your butt in the seat and your feet on the floor, become grounded, take some deep breaths, pay attention to what your heart and your mind and what your heart and your body really are telling you about about what it is that inspires you, about what it is that is making you tick and wanting to move forward right now, so that you can then communicate again with your mind and make a fresh plan that feels more inspiring and feels more like something you want to be into and get going to do it, okay? And I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.